Hey, Dad. So, can I put you down as being at my wedding for your RSVP? It's only a month away, and I haven't received your RSVP officially.
Yes, of course. Of course I'm going to be there.
Oh, Alexis agreed to let you come? That's great. I was a bit worried there for a bit.
Well, not technically. I mean, she was pretty upset that she didn't receive a formal invitation herself, and then when it was mentioned that your mother was going to be there, she was dead set on no.
But Dad, you have to talk to her. I mean, my wedding is an intimate affair. It's not like I meant to offend her. I only wanted people I was really close with, people I grew up with, and you married her after I moved away to college. Besides, it's not like it's only my fault that we're not close. I mean, she could have definitely made an effort with me and not have been so weirdly jealous.
I don't think she's jealous, honey. She's just like that when it comes to other women in my life.
Other women in your life? I'm literally your daughter. Why would she be jealous of me? Just because you aren't focused on her for 30 seconds. And she always treats me like I'm unwanted whenever I come to visit. So, really, at the end of the day, she has only herself to blame for her lack of an invite to my wedding. We're having a really small wedding. There's only going to be like 50 people there. And we're not close. I don't want her there.
I know. And I wouldn't want to force you to invite her either. This is your big day, and I'm going to be there. I'll just keep talking to her. I'm sure that she'll finally agree once she realizes how important of a day this is for us. And by us, I mean you and our family. My little girl's getting married, and there's no way I'm going to miss that.
You will if your wife is literally forbidding you from going, which is ridiculous. I mean, she's an adult. She should see how trivial her whole being upset is. And she shouldn't stop you from coming to my wedding. I mean, you're my dad. There's no way I can do this without you being there. I need you to walk me down the aisle and calm my nerves and to have the shovel talk with my fiancé.
Exactly. I'll just keep talking to her. She'll come around eventually.
No, she won't. Not since she found out that Mom was going too. Which is wild, considering that it's my wedding. Why wouldn't my parents be there, regardless of if they're divorced?
I know. I should really talk to Marcy.
Yeah, it's definitely not cool that you stopped talking to her after Alexis made a whole big fuss about the fact that you were still in contact.
I mean, she did have a point. It's not normal for husbands to still be in contact with their ex-wives. But Marcy and I are still friends. We were best friends before we started dating and got married. And we're best friends now.
Yeah, sure.
What do you mean by that?
You know what I mean.
Come on, sweetie, you're still on this? I swear there's nothing going on between me and your mother. It's true what I said. We were best friends before we even thought about dating each other, and we stayed friends after our divorce. It's what mature, reasonable adults with a child do.
Yeah, but I don't think you actually meant to get a divorce. Sure, it was really rough when you lost your job and money was tight and everyone was stressed. Heck, I was in grade 9 and I was stressed. But I don't think you guys should have got a divorce.
We were fighting nearly every night, honey. That puts a lot of strain on a couple, especially when they have their teenage daughter to take care of.
But you should have just separated instead of getting a divorce.
It's fine, honey. It's all in the past. Aren't you glad that your mother and I are still good friends? That we can raise you and love you without hating each other?
Yes, which is so rare for divorced people. But let me tell you, Dad, I don't know much about soulmates, but I'm pretty sure that my fiancé is my soulmate and Mom is your soulmate, no matter what happened between the two of you.
I'll always love your mother. That's a fact. But it's not something that we should talk about so lightly. I mean, your mother and I have a close relationship is the reason why we're dealing with Alexis being the way that she is.
Okay, since we're talking about marriages, can you please explain to me why you married her?
I don't know. It felt like love for a while. And your mother was dating that other man. And I guess I didn't want to be left behind.
See, you never mentioned once about how much you love her or any qualities about her. You married her for convenience. I know that, you know that, and she probably knows that, which is why she is so upset that you and my mother are still close. She knows that you were actually in love with her.
Honey, I'm an adult. I don't need to explain my choices to you.
I'm an adult too. Need I remind you?
You're 23.
And I'm about to be married. Besides, you and Mom had already been married a couple of years by the time you were my age.
Yeah, but again, we had been best friends since we were in diapers, and it was different back then. People got married at that age.
And do you regret it?
Okay, enough with the 21 questions. Let me talk to Alexis, and sure, I'll talk to Marcy as well. It's not fair for me to ice her out just because Alexis is upset.
Exactly. Go talk to them both, and you need to be there for my wedding. I don't care if you have to divorce Alexis to do it.
I'm sure you would love that. Now go. Don't you have to go taste cakes or whatever?
Yeah. Love you, Dad.
Love you too, kiddo. Hi, dear. So, it's almost the end of May.
Yes? And?
It's almost my daughter's wedding.
So?
Please, babe, I know that you're upset that May's mother will be there, but I assure you that you have nothing to worry about.
I don't care about what you have to say. You're not going. I forbid it.
Honey, you really need to see it from my side. My only little girl is getting married, and she wants her dad to be there. I want to be there to support her on her special day. I mean, could you imagine our wedding without your father being there?
I would have gotten over it, and so will May. You can stop pretending that that's why you want to go. I know that it's because you're still in love with that ex-wife of yours. So, no. The answer will always be no. You are not going to that wedding.
I swear to you, I am not in love with my ex-wife. I simply want to go because it's my daughter's wedding, and I've always dreamed of the day I would walk her down the aisle. And that day is coming, and you won't let me go.
Yeah, right. Not in love with your ex-wife? Then explain to me why you've been in constant contact with her. You've been texting her the entire time we've been together. You've called her several times over the last year. And whenever anything happens and you need advice, she's the first one you go to. It doesn't make any sense. So, no, I don't think you're not in love with your wife.
You have to understand. I've known Marcy since we were children. We grew up in the same small town. Our families were friends. We were best friends since before we could even walk. You can't just cut someone like that out of your life, especially after you were married for nearly 20 years and have a child together.
Can you just shut up about your marriage and your child and how awesome and in love you were? It's disgusting. It's disgusting that you're saying these things to me when I am your current wife. You have to understand my side of this whole thing.
Okay, that's definitely not what I meant to do when I started talking about Marcy. I wasn't trying to compare our marriage to my marriage with Marcy. I wouldn't do that to you. It's just that I'm trying to explain how important it is that I go to my daughter's wedding, and I don't want to go without you being okay with it. I mean, you are technically my wife.
Well then, I guess you're not going to the wedding because I will never be okay with it. If you're so keen on wanting to go to your kid's wedding, then maybe we should have a kid.
What?
Yeah, why don't we have a kid together? Then you can love that kid and watch that kid get married someday, walking down the aisle, whatever.
I was always really clear that I didn't want any children.
Well, I'm sure I can change your mind. And how could you be so against kids? You literally have one. And now you're fighting with me because you want to go to her wedding? Yeah, I don't believe it.
I thought that we were on the same page about this. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I married you. You didn't want kids. I didn't want another kid. May is it for me. I don't want any other kids besides May.
Why? Because she came from Marcy?
No, because I'm nearly 50 years old and raising a kid is a lot of hard work. I mean, I would be 70 years old by the time the kid moved out. Do you understand how insane that is?
Oh, I can see right through your lie. Is it because it's me? You don't love me.
I never claimed to be a good man. I just show that I'm a good man through my actions. Anyways, it's a little unfair of you to put all that on our marriage. I'm simply a man who has a daughter who wants to attend her wedding. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, there is. Because your ex-wife is going to be there and you're clearly still in love with her.
Can we just cut Marcy out of this conversation altogether? She hasn't done anything wrong. She's my friend. And yes, we were married and we had a child together. And just because we got divorced doesn't mean that we stopped being friends. She knows me better than anyone else. Why wouldn't I go to her for advice?
See? You don't care about me at all. I bet you even hate me because I came between you and your precious wife. Well, how do you think that makes me feel? It makes me feel abandoned. That's what.
Okay, this situation is not about you at all. You keep saying how things are affecting you, how you feel, how I should think about your feelings, but you're not considering my feelings or May's. Do you know how messed up that is? She's your stepdaughter, and you haven't even tried to get to know her at all. And she doesn't even come by the house anymore because of how you treat her.
Hey, it's not my fault. I mean, she looks exactly like your ex-wife. You have to understand why I don't want her around. She probably reminds you of her. I don't want that kind of reminder around our house, the house that I decorated.
She's my daughter. It's so weird that you're jealous of her. Wouldn't you be concerned if I didn't care about her?
No, I wish that you wouldn't care about her. Just leave her behind. Leave her and her mother behind. It's the only way I'll be happy.
Are you serious? You can ask that of me. Not genuinely. No person would ask that of someone.
See? You're choosing them over me. That proves how little you love me.
Okay, I'm done fighting about this. Her wedding is in a couple of weeks. I'm going.
What? No. Haven't you been listening to me? I told you already. You're not allowed to go to the wedding. It's as simple as that. Not if you love me and care about me like you claim.
This is not about you. I don't know how many more times I have to tell you that and explain, but it is most definitely not about you. This is about my family, about my daughter and my ex-wife, who will always be my family. I need to show up for them. I need to walk my little girl down the aisle, and you're not going to stop me.
How dare you? That's it. You're sleeping on the couch.
Fine.
Ugh, you suck. You're a terrible husband. Hello? Oh, what? Now you're ignoring me? Wow, how mature, James. First you don't want to have children with me, and now this?
Hey, Marcy, can we talk?
Oh, so now you want to talk? Is everything all right?
I know. I'm sorry that I stopped talking to you out of the blue, and have been ignoring your calls and texts. I just thought it might be good to distance myself since Alexis was being Alexis.
Oh, yes. How is the young lady doing?
She's only 37. You're making her sound like she's in her 20s or something.
I know. I'm just joking. It's actually quite a feat that you didn't start dating some random 20-year-old. Most divorced men your age probably would. But you're definitely not like them.
And you and I would probably castrate me if I tried to date anyone below 30. Also, it's creepy and weird. Remember when May was talking about some man who was like 31 and she was 20?
Yeah, that was some good parenting on your part, shutting that down quickly.
I'm not sure if it was really shutting it down. I just threatened to fight him.
Would you have fought him? Genuinely?
I don't know. When I get into dad mode, who knows what can happen?
God, that was so cheesy.
Shut up.
I can't when you're being so cheesy. It's literally impossible for me to shut up about it. Either that or I'll cringe.
You're terrible.
Hey, I'm not the one keeping you from your daughter's wedding.
I know. Actually, part of why I wanted to talk.
What's up? You do know that you can always talk to me. I'm here for you, no matter what.
Yeah. But before we get into any of that, May was asking why we got divorced, and you know, besides the fighting, I had a hard time figuring it out. Why did we get divorced?
What? The fighting wasn't a good enough reason?
No, it was. I just suppose...
Suppose what?
Well, I mean, all couples fight. Maybe we should have just gone to couples counseling or something. You know, instead of pulling the rug right then and there.
Yeah, looking back at it, there was probably a list of 5 different things that we could have done before even bringing up the D word. But we thought we were doing what was best for May. I mean, times were tough. We almost lost the house.
Which was my fault because I lost my job.
That wasn't technically your fault. It was a recession. There's not much control we have over that. Besides, I never felt right that that company fired you. After you put in nearly a decade of work, you were one of their best, and they decided to let you go rather than their new hires.
Well, I did point out that there was a big wage gap between me and my other coworkers. And then we started talking about work and pay transparency. So that was probably why.
Yeah, that was definitely your fault then. Everything else wasn't. I guess we were just tired after a year of cutbacks and tightening up our bootstraps. But yeah, I guess I do think that we rushed into divorce pretty quickly. But that's fine. I mean, you got married to Alexis, so you got something out of it.
Do you regret our divorce at all? Honestly. I mean, you can always speak honestly to me. We've always been James and Marcy. the neighborhood menaces, then the best friends, and eventually the fun couple.
I feel like this is a lot to say over text messages. But yes, I do regret getting divorced. I think we were both going through a weird time, and on top of a middle-age crisis, there was a recession. I think we jumped the gun on getting divorced, and I do regret it. But I'm not saying that because I want you to divorce Alexis. If you're genuinely happy with her and you love her, then you should be with her. And if you don't regret the divorce, then that's fine. I mean, you must love her. You did marry her.
The thing is, I don't know if I ever actually did love her. I mean, you're right when you're saying we're both going through weird times. I mean, I was just past 40, and I guess I was really coming to terms with the fact that I'm growing older. And I didn't want to discuss any of that with you for whatever reason. And I don't know. Alexis made me feel young, and I feel like that was enough for me to marry her. But now it's becoming more and more clear that she's not the person I thought she was, and that maybe I never did love her.
Wow, you got all of that from this whole wedding thing?
Also, our daughter is quite nosy and asks the hard-hitting questions.
That's our journalist daughter for you. So, what does this mean?
I mean, I never stopped loving you, and I don't think there's anyone else in this world I can love in the same way I love you. Maybe we can try again.
That would be nice. But what are you going to do about Alexis?
I think I was done with Alexis the minute she said I couldn't go to our daughter's wedding. I've just been dragging it out for so long because I didn't want to confront her. I mean, we live in the same house. Be kind of awkward, wouldn't it? To ask for a divorce and then continue living together for a while?
I mean, we did it.
Yeah, but we're soulmates.
Wow, our time apart has really turned you into a sap.
No, our daughter has turned me into a sap. Must be all this wedding nonsense.
You know, you could come to stay with me. I mean, since May moved out, there's always been that free room. Or, depending on how fast your divorce proceeds.
I'll pack a bag.
Where the hell are you? How come our place is so empty? Please tell me that you didn't actually go to your daughter's wedding after I told you how I felt about it. You better have just gone on a trip or something. Hello?
The wedding isn't for another 2 weeks, but you're right in assuming that I left.
What? Where did you go? When will you be back?
Were you ever going to let me go to the wedding? Even if I begged and pleaded? Was there ever a chance that you were going to let me go to the wedding?
No, of course not. Why would I let you anywhere near that wench and her stupid daughter?
Excuse me?
I'm tired of explaining it over and over again. Just listen to me carefully. My feelings are what matter here, not yours and definitely not May's. If you go to that wedding, I'll leave you because that proves you never loved me.
You're right. I didn't. Not as much as my first wife. The divorce papers are in the mail, by the way.
What? I'm your wife.
Not anymore. Not since you said that I couldn't go to the wedding. And how could you think I would ever stay with you after saying such horrible things about Marcy and May?
So, it's true? You care about them more than me? How could you?
Easily. Please sign the divorce papers as quickly as you can. And lose my number.
What?
Goodbye, Alexis. The wedding was beautiful. The entire day had me crying, and it was made even more special by the fact that May could spend it with her reunited parents. Of course, May just rubbed it in our faces how she was right and always knew we'd get back together. I was just happy to be able to walk my little girl down the aisle on her special day. Being able to dance with my wife was just a cherry on top. A few weeks out from my relationship with Alexis made me realize just how unhappy I'd been. Now that I'm free from someone who only cares about themselves, I can finally spend the rest of my life with my true loved ones.